Good evening and welcome to tonight's special wartime broadcast with your host, Jeremy Afanas, in the Jeremy Afanas Show. Tonight, I'll be discussing the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, and how we should think about this tragic event. First, it is important to understand the facts of this war. The USA bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan as a power dominance. They needed to prove to Japan and the world that they were the superior nation. So the only obvious way to do so was to murder 80,000 people. There have been many discussions and arguments around this issue. Some people have taken the perspective that new technology has created new and terrible horrors in war. War on this scale is never worth it. I strongly believe this statement is true because war is becoming much more than fighting for peace with guns. Instead, it is developing at a horrific scale through technology in the form of nuclear weapons. I am not the only person to take this point of view. Other prominent organizations such as UNESCO, which is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, described the military tactic in 1996 as the most destructive force ever created by humankind. Further, historians have made extensive comments and opinions around the issue of whether it was necessary for the United Nations to attack Japan in such a horrific way. Gar Alperovitz argued in 1965 that the bombs were unnecessary to force Japan's surrender. In particular, he suggests that the Japanese were already close to surrender and that the bombs were primarily intended as a political and diplomatic weapon against the Soviet Union. A poem by Sojei Senchinki conveys the horrors of Hiroshima with a Japanese perspective. The opening line, in my opinion, was highly effective. The rhetorical question, "Can we forget the flash?" relates everyone to this attack and makes everyone feel the point of view of Japan. With great language techniques, Sojei also has hard-hitting facts to back up his beliefs. This is showed in the line, "Suddenly, 30,000 in the streets disappeared," referring to the 30,000 people who lost their life in this tragedy. Now, in 2018, nothing quite this extreme has happened again with the use of nuclear weapons. But, with even more technological advancements approaching, a nuclear war is being seen in the distance, and we must not let that happen. This attack is recognized worldwide as a horror, and whatever perspective you have, you cannot deny the straight facts that this was a tragedy and should be avoided if possible. And yes, it is possible. Therefore, we must take the perspective that the USA could have avoided dropping the atomic bombs in Hiroshima. It was a power attack and was a historic terror. The scars they left in Japan are still with them today, and this example of pure evil should not be repeated. Thank you.